It is March 15th, 2015. In South Whitehall Township in the United States, police officers spot a suspicious car while on patrol. The vehicle is parked on the side of the road and appears to be empty. The car is first noticed around 4:15 a.m. Since no one is around, the officers check back a short time later. On their second round, the car is gone. But very close by, the officers see disturbed soil. They push the soil and snow aside and make a horrific discovery. A woman's body has been buried next to the parking spot. The deceased is named Cheryl Silvonek and is 54 years old. She appears to have been the victim of a crime. She was stabbed in the neck at least 5 times, and she was also beaten and strangled. The victim's car is found a short time later in a nearby pond. It appears someone deliberately drove it into the water. There are numerous bloodstains inside the vehicle. Whoever harmed Cheryl seems to have had a very personal motive. The police head to Cheryl's registered address. Her husband is asleep in bed, and her 14-year-old daughter is in her bedroom, together with her 20-year-old boyfriend. What happened to Cheryl? And who murdered her in cold blood? Cheryl is married and the mother of 2 children. Cheryl and her husband David live in Lehigh County with their daughter Jamie. The Silvoneks have been married for 24 years. Cheryl works at a hospital and David is a pharmacist. They first had a son who was already an adult and studying medicine at the time of Cheryl's death. In February 2001, their daughter Jamie was born. Jamie is a daddy's girl and does everything she can with David. The two go fishing together and share a passion for motorcycles and hunting. Jamie is an above-average student and is described as very popular. But, as with so many children, the teenage years bring conflicts within the family. By the end of 2014, Jamie becomes increasingly withdrawn and distances herself from her family and friends. In March 2015, a fight breaks out between Jamie and her mother, Cheryl. This is because Cheryl has discovered the reason behind her daughter's sudden change. 14-year-old Jamie has secretly had a boyfriend for several months, and Cheryl is anything but thrilled about it. Caleb Barnes is 20 years old, 6 years older than her daughter. He is stationed as a soldier in the state of Maryland. While Jamie is in 8th grade and gaining her first experiences with love and relationships, her boyfriend Caleb is a grown man. That is exactly why the relationship is a thorn in Jamie's mother Cheryl's side. Still, she doesn't talk to her husband David about it. She doesn't want to drag him into the conflict between her and their daughter. Jamie and Caleb meet at a rock festival in Pennsylvania. She tells Caleb, however, that she's 17. The two exchange phone numbers and stay in touch via text and social media. Over time, the two begin to build a relationship online. All the while, Jamie keeps this relationship a secret from her family. On March 7, 2015, Jamie's mother Cheryl meets Caleb for the first time. She catches the two of them at a secret meeting and is shocked. She demands that Jamie and Caleb, who is visibly much older, end the relationship immediately. Jamie tries to convince her mother that Caleb is only 16 years old, but the lie is quickly exposed. Cheryl is horrified that 20-year-old Caleb is involved with a young girl like Jamie. She even shows Caleb Jamie's ID, which states in black and white how old she really is. Jamie has no intention of breaking up with Caleb. She doesn't seem to understand that the age difference between her and her adult boyfriend is problematic. And Caleb, who is the adult in this situation, doesn't seem to be thinking about staying away from Jamie either. For Jamie continues to insist to her boyfriend that she is 17 years old. She claims her mother is lying and saying she is younger so that Caleb will break up with her. And so that no one stands in the way of their happiness, the two hatch a plan. The disruptive factor must be eliminated, by force if necessary. Their plans quickly take shape, so quickly that Cheryl Silvonek will die just a few days after meeting Caleb. Jamie and Caleb have tickets for a Breaking Benjamin concert on March 14, 2015. The show is taking place in Scranton, about an hour and a half away by car. Jamie really wants to go, but her mom is against it. Her daughter has been to a few concerts before, but the fact that Caleb, of all people, is supposed to be there that night really rubs her the wrong way. In a text message she sends her daughter while Jamie is still at school, she writes, "He's not coming into my house." But Jamie doesn't give up. She replies, "Mom, if I can't go, I'm going to have a nervous breakdown. I have to go there and see my friends. I feel so desperate, Mom." So Cheryl issues an ultimatum. Jamie can go to the concert with Caleb on one condition. Cheryl will drive the two of them there and pick them up again. Jamie then sends a text message to Caleb that reads, "She threatened to kick me out of the house. I want her to get out of the way. Let's just do it." That seems to be the moment when it becomes clear that Cheryl Silvonek is going to die. Jamie talks to her mother one more time and accepts her offer. Cheryl drives her daughter and Caleb to the concert that evening. During the car ride, Jamie and Caleb don't talk to each other, but communicate via text messages instead. Because they don't want Cheryl to find out about their plan. Via text, they hatch a plan to murder Jamie's mother Cheryl while she is driving the car in which the three of them are sitting together. Upon arriving in Scranton, Cheryl waits in the lobby of the concert hall and then picks up Jamie and Caleb again. She drives the two of them back home. And then, everything happens very quickly. According to police records released later, Cheryl Silvonek was stabbed to death in her car. After her murder, Caleb and Jamie reportedly ate at a fast food restaurant. They then visited a Walmart store and purchased gloves, bleach, and other cleaning supplies, presumably to cover up evidence of the murder. According to investigators, Jamie does not appear distressed or frightened in Walmart surveillance footage. Rather, she looks cheerful, as if she were relieved. David, Cheryl's husband and Jamie's father, was unaware of any of this. That's because on the evening of March 14th, he took a sleeping pill and slept soundly all night long. He only learns of his wife's death when police officers show up at his front door on March 15th. It doesn't take long before suspicion falls on Cheryl's daughter Jamie and her adult boyfriend. Caleb is arrested for the murder of Cheryl Silvonek, desecration of a corpse, and coercion. Jamie is also arrested by the police. She is charged with desecration of a corpse, tampering with evidence, and obstructing a police arrest. Investigators initially assume that Caleb stabbed Cheryl Silvonek and is the main perpetrator in this case. However, they also notice scratches and a broken acrylic nail on Jamie's hands. Both Caleb and Jamie make contradictory statements during their interrogations. Caleb initially claims he has no idea what could have happened to Cheryl. Then he ends his statement and says the three of them drove back to the Silvonek's house after the concert. There, he and Jamie had sex in Cheryl's car. When Cheryl caught them, she reportedly lost her temper. During the ensuing argument, Caleb pushed her into a sharp object. So it was just an accident. Jamie also initially claims not to know what happened. Then she says her boyfriend Caleb attacked her mother after they got home. The lawyer representing 14-year-old Jamie says in an interview that the girl is devastated. She cries a lot and keeps saying how much she misses her mother. After some back and forth, Caleb confesses to the murder. He says he attacked Cheryl in the car and stabbed her in the neck several times. Cheryl's daughter Jamie helped dispose of the body. However, the case soon takes a new turn. When the police analyze Cheryl Silvonek's cell phone data, a completely different picture emerges. In several text messages, she suggests killing both her mother Cheryl and her father David. That way, she and Caleb could be together in peace. The data analysis also shows that Cheryl called Caleb a few days after they first met. Jamie's mother and her boyfriend spoke on the phone for about 4 minutes. It is unclear what the conversation was about, but she likely asked Caleb to leave her daughter alone. After the call, Caleb sent a text message to Jamie. It said, "You have to call me right now." A few days later, they went on the trip to the concert, which was followed by Cheryl's murder. According to the prosecution, Cheryl wanted to use the car ride to talk to the two of them about everything in peace. We don't know if that actually happened, and unfortunately, it doesn't matter, because Cheryl was murdered in cold blood. Jamie's father, David, only learned about the relationship between Jamie and Caleb from the police. David is particularly critical of the fact that Jamie is being treated as an adult by the U.S. justice system. After all, she is still 14 years old and therefore a child. Jamie should at least be transferred to a juvenile detention center. He holds Caleb Barnes primarily responsible.
It's a horror story for me. I mean, I love my daughter unconditionally. I want her back home as soon as possible. She was led astray and influenced by this predator. All of her friends and friends' parents that I've come across said that Jamie was a kind, loving person, and they cannot, for 1 minute, believe that she was involved with something like this.
David Silvonek advocates for better rehabilitation measures and believes Jamie deserves better care. He is concerned that she might develop further mental health issues while in the adult prison system and might even take her own life one day. David feels that Jamie is being portrayed unfairly in the media. Together with Jamie's lawyer, he advocates for his daughter to be sentenced under juvenile law instead. In that case, the maximum possible sentence would be a form of detention until her 21st birthday. However, this request is denied. In court, Jamie and Caleb are charged in separate trials. According to forensic reports, the murder of Cheryl Silvonek must have lasted about 20 minutes. Yet neither Jamie nor her adult boyfriend Caleb decided during that time to stop attacking Cheryl. Instead, both the teenager and the 20-year-old accepted the death of Jamie's mother. Jamie's best friend is called to testify in court. She states that on March 7th, she overheard Jamie and Caleb planning to murder Cheryl. At first, Caleb thought it was a bad idea, but later helped look for a suitable murder weapon. When the friend brought this up with Jamie, Jamie said she was just joking. At least 4 neighbors in the Silvonek's neighborhood heard a car honking intermittently around 1 a.m. Cheryl's car was parked in her driveway for 20 to 30 minutes during that time. Afterward, the car was driven away and the honking stopped. It is highly likely that Cheryl was murdered in her car during this time. Afterward, the 2 suspects presumably drove away with the 54-year-old's body in the car, went out to eat, drove to Walmart, and disposed of the car and Cheryl's body. Jamie ultimately pleaded guilty to the murder of her own mother. She is sentenced to imprisonment and will remain in prison for at least 35 years. Only after this time will it be evaluated whether she will be released on parole. Jamie Silvonek will therefore be free again at the earliest at the age of 49. At that point, she would be 5 years younger than her mother Cheryl was at the time of her death. Caleb Barnes receives a life sentence without the possibility of parole for first-degree murder. Prior to this, he had attempted to exploit the verdict against Jamie. He told the court that he had merely helped dispose of Cheryl's body, and he did so only because Jamie had told him she was pregnant and he wanted to protect her and the unborn child. Jamie had also told her mother Cheryl about the alleged pregnancy. This led to an argument between mother and daughter. Jamie then, in a fit of rage, stabbed Cheryl with a knife that Caleb claimed had fallen out of his pants pocket. But the judges do not buy Caleb's story. Caleb smiles repeatedly during the trial and keeps changing his version of events. It remains unclear to this day which of the two stabbed Cheryl. In fact, Caleb's DNA was not found on the alleged murder weapon or on Cheryl's body, but the court considers it proven that both Caleb and Jamie wanted the same thing: the death of Cheryl Silvonek. In 2023, there is new movement in the case. Jamie's lawyers are seeking to have the verdict, the guilty plea, and the sentence against the now 22-year-old overturned. In new court documents, Jamie's former attorney is accused of having been ineffective and of failing to present important evidence in her defense. Furthermore, the court allegedly did not sufficiently consider Jamie's mental health issues or the abuse she suffered at the hands of her then 20-year-old boyfriend during the original sentencing. It is now being argued that Caleb, not Jamie, was the driving force behind Cheryl's murder. Additionally, it is now claimed that Jamie was physically abused by Caleb. He allegedly controlled her and dictated her eating habits and clothing choices. Meanwhile, even Jamie's former defense attorney maintains that Cheryl Silvonek is a master manipulator. She allegedly succeeded in persuading the adult Caleb to murder her mother, Cheryl. Jamie's current attorneys, on the other hand, argue that Jamie could not have made free decisions while in a relationship with an adult, violent, and controlling man. The lawyer's motion was denied. In 2025, a new attempt was made to challenge the verdict, but the outcome is still pending. The Cheryl Silvonek case caused quite a stir in Pennsylvania at the time, partly because the convicted woman is so young. The fact that Jamie was nevertheless sentenced under adult criminal law met with widespread approval on the one hand, while the family expressed concerns on the other. In Cheryl Silvonek's case, the unique aspect of her relationship with the significantly older Caleb adds another layer, further fueling the debate. I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts on the case and the court's ruling. Do you think it was justified that she was sentenced under adult criminal law, or would juvenile criminal law have been more appropriate? Feel free to leave a comment below. And if you'd like, please give the video a like or subscribe. Don't forget to click the bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. Thank you in advance, and thank you for watching. Other than that, there isn't much more to say. I hope you're having a good morning, afternoon, or evening, whichever time you're watching this, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Until then, bye everyone.